All right, gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on this Jeep. So 2016 Jeep. All right, so we're checking the check engine light is on. All right, got the check engine light on. Car runs fine. So we tried clearing the light once already. Clearing it again. So now we're going to go here and all right, we know it's a Jeep 2017, yes. And we'll see what comes up. Okay, same thing. Okay. Thermostat rationality. That's number 1. And number 2, same thing. Okay, so it keeps coming up, same thing. But as you can see, everything's green, so it's actually running okay as far as emissions goes. But they want that thermostat, they want the engine running at a certain temperature, so let's see what we got to do here. And I know you guys are looking to do a water pump. That's why you're checking this video out. So I'm going to try to do step by step. First thing you're going to have to do is go get a thermostat. Okay? Thermostat comes with the housing and all. So it'll look like that. Okay? And it is located down inside there. So you're gonna unclip 2 clips on the air filter. That's gonna loosen that up. There's a little cover that goes right here. Take the cover off, 10 millimeter. And then it's got 2, 3, 4, you pull up on them, right? Like that. When you pry up, it's got these rubber stops or rubber connectors that hold it down. And now you're looking at this. So you got to take that air cleaner off. You're going to take this hose off. Just pulls off. You're going to unclip this. You got to pull this little lock tab off. See that little lock? You got to pull the lock back. Once you pull the lock back, then the connector will come right off. You unhook that. You're going to loosen this screw right here. Use a regular screwdriver or a 5/16 7 millimeter socket. Actually, it's an 8 millimeter, so use a screwdriver. And then this, same thing. I'll show you how that comes off. It just basically has the same one. It's got one of these on the end with a rubber grommet that it pops off on that side, and this all lifts off, comes off of that. All right, so we're getting ready to take all this off, right? In the meantime, you look down here, driver's side, all the way down the bottom, that little red knob, that's the drain. Okay, so you're gonna open that up. You don't have to back it all the way out. You just back it out about halfway out and let that drain. You open the cap up. Let the fluid drain out. By the time the fluid starts draining out and you're at that point, it'll be drained out enough where you're good. Next step. All right, so we're getting ready to take all this off, right? In the meantime, you look down here, driver's side, all the way down the bottom, that little red knob, that's the drain. Okay, so you're gonna open that up. You don't have to back it all the way out. You just back it out about halfway out. Let that drain. You open the cap up. Let the fluid drain out. By the time the fluid starts draining out and you're at that point, it'll be drained out enough where you're good. Next step. All right, so you got it up in the air. You got this skid plate. It's got 4 13 millimeter.
Hold that side up.
4 13 millimeter. You're gonna take that down. And you're going to take down these screws in the front You got a couple of bolts in the front, 10 millimeter, and 2 on the side. So 1 on each side. One's down the front, and you got one is a push button, little push button deal. So you'll have 4 of those, 5 of those, and this little push button. Okay, so you take that off, take the shield down. Now you got everything out of your way, so you don't have to make a mess. There's your drain. I'm gonna drain that out. Let's see if you can see it. All right, you got that little drain right there.
Oh, that's got a little thing in it.
A little spigot and everything. So you back that off. And that's it. All right, and it saves you making a mess on the ground. All right, we're gonna let that drain out. We'll go back on the top and start taking the top apart. All right, so we got the air cleaner off. We're gonna loosen this up right here. This wire we got off. Antifreeze is draining. That's it. This will lift right up. That'll lift from that side. Just lift it up. You lift it, it'll come right up. So you got this, and then you just got to be careful right here with this wire.
Here.
That little pry bar thing. That. And that whole thing will come right up. You can just lay it on the side. Just take it out of the way. You just take it off. It's on a little grommet in the back. So it just lifts off that grommet. You'll see it. That's it, like that. Now everything's out of your way. Now that everything's out of your way, if you ever got to do an oil change on them, there's your oil filter. Another genius idea they came up with. Put it all the way in there. All right, so now this thermostat housing. All right, we're gonna check the one we got, make sure it matches up. Get the one out of the box. Now it comes complete. So you gotta make sure you get the right one. It has the sensor built into it already. Oh, that's gonna go right there. Okay. All right, so now you got a little clip, same thing. That little lock has to come off. You gotta pull up on that little lock, and then it'll unclip, pull the wire off. You got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 bolts. You got a spring clip here, clamp, a spring clamp here. And it should give you enough room to pull it off.
You're waiting for the...
Just waiting for the antifreeze to drain out a little bit longer. All right, so you take your spring clamp off. It only comes back so far. Got your little plug off. Got your little plug off of there. Take the spring clip off of there. You got 10 millimeter. The 3 10 millimeters. That should be it with that. All right, so you got the old one out. There's the thermostat on the old one. It all came apart actually, so make sure you got the gasket off. Dry that off. Clean, make sure there's nothing. Scrape it if you have to, make sure there's nothing sticking out of it. And then we'll install the new one. Okay, so the new one, you'll see has this gasket on it. Little plastic deal on it like that. All right. Make sure everything matches up. Put it back on, put your 3 bolts back on it. All right, so you got your 3 bolts on. When you put the bolts on, all right, so these housings are plastic. So when you put the bolts on, this gasket sticks out pretty good. So you want to draw the bolts in a little at a time, each one. Go all the way around a few times before you tighten it all the way up. Put your hose back on, put your other hose back on, get your clamps back on. You're gonna stick your sensor back in there. Make sure that clips in. Put your clip back in there. And that should be it with that. All right, clamps are all back on, sensors are back on. I'm gonna refill the bottle with new antifreeze. Okay. And then we'll get it back up in the air. Put the shields all back on the bottom after we get this part back on. So we want to put the antifreeze in it, put all this back together, make sure this sensor's back on. You don't want to start it with that off because then it's going to throw another check engine light. So we'll get it back together, let it run through its cycle, check the coolant temperature in the car. Once we know that's all good, then we'll get it back up in the air and put the shields and all back on the bottom. All right, so get yourself a funnel, put it in here, fill the fluid up, start the thing up, let it run. It's got to warm up enough so that the thermostat opens up, lets the fluid all the way through. This will drop down, and then just top it off, and it should be good to go. So I'm just gonna wait for that a couple minutes, and we're gonna go inside, shut the check engine light back off, make sure it's got good heat. So as of right now, yep, getting warmed up, so that's good. So that sensor that's in the thermostat, so that one sensor, I guess, is the sensor that says what kind of temperature the engine's at. So if the engine doesn't reach that certain temperature, it'll throw that light, knowing the thermostat either is stuck open or not working. Usually at that point, it's probably stuck open. But being that one came out apart, I'm assuming it was bad to start with anyway. All right, let's let this warm up and we'll shut the check engine light off. All right, so we got it running. We got it on live data. You can see the temperature is up to 192. So it went up to 208 and then dropped back down. Thermostat opened right up. So now it's running at 194, 195, right around there. So the fluid's full, top it off.
Okay, fluid's full. Ready to go. Okay.
Temperature's nice and warm. That's at a quarter. So now we're gonna shut it off. And then unhook this.
Clear the code on it.
We're gonna hook it back up. Turn the key on to the first button. That's that. And we will clear the code. These scanners aren't expensive. You could go grab yourself one. These are pretty cool. All right, 2000 Jeep, 2017 Jeep, yes. So now we know that. All right, so that was the code, right? We're gonna erase it. Yes. One moment. That's good. Unhook that. All right, check engine light is off.
And that's it.
We'll shut the hood, go take it for a ride, make sure everything's good to go.
Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Got any questions, leave us a comment or something. Okay?
Thanks for watching.